There's nothing quite like the visual rush fly anglers get when they can see the strike from a fish, whether they be on topwater flies or subsurface streamers. Seeing a fish charging up from the depths to annihilate your offering is one of the best things about the sport of fly fishing, especially when your flies are presented to a fish you can see. Most every species of sport fish can be targeted using either a streamer or a big terrestrial offering.
Oh! Slow strip, and this guy came roaring out from under the bushes.
Coming up on the new Fly Fisher, we're in Chile and Patagonia, fishing specific fly styles for big rainbow and brown trout.
Here on the River of Dreams at Magic Waters, every day is a streamer day.
We've left the nymphs and dry flies in our bags and are swinging for the fences with streamers and, wait for it, mice.
It's always an exciting eat when they take a mouse fly. It's just so visual and the fish get really excited about it.
What a great fish here on the Rio Blanco.
This big fish adventure starts right now on the new Fly Fisher.
That's a nice sized fish.
Absolutely fantastic. Nice. Oh my goodness, that's the kind of fish that makes stickers out of.
The new Fly Fisher is supported by Magic Waters Patagonia Lodge, Vair Watches, Scientific Anglers, Trout Unlimited,
Chile and Patagonia has water that would suit most every fly angler's wants and needs. Spring creeks, giant rivers, lakes, ponds, streams and creeks. Whatever anglers are seeking is but a short drive away.
You have a streamer on, Mark?
Yeah.
There are seemingly unrealized opportunities in any system. The fish are unpressured, and they always seem to be looking up no matter the season.
Here on the River of Dreams at Magic Waters, every day is a streamer day.
We're here in Chile during North America's fall season, springtime in Chile. There's still snow in the mountains and the waters are running cold and clean. Joining me on this South American adventure is good friend Tom Rosenbauer. We'll be fishing streamers and mice from 2 of the 3 Magic Waters lodges, the River of Dreams Base Camp and Magic Waters Patagonia Lodge. Once we arrive at Magic Waters, Tom and I sit down and make a plan for the week. We learn that we are to go to the River of Dreams Base Camp first. This rustic camp is located on the banks of the Rio Blanco and is only accessible by either horseback or helicopter. We get loaded up and drive to the trailhead and get set for the horseback ride into camp. We get our rods and reels set up, grab a quick bite to eat, and get ready to hit the river first thing in the morning. We load up the rafts and start our journey upriver on the River of Dreams. The weather is cloudy, wet, and cool. Perfect for streamers and mice.
Tom, back on the River of Dreams, Rio Blanco, but this is a different program. It's cloudy, it's cool, it's misty, perfect for streamers. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think streamers are, this is what I think of as streamer weather, and this is a streamer river. There's big fish, they don't have a ton of food, they chase big stuff, and it's exciting.
So what we're gonna do today is there's streamer water and there's mouse water. We both have rods rigged up for each, and we're gonna pick and choose the style of water and which fly to throw. So today should be very visual and a lot of fun.
It should be. I'm looking forward to it.
Let's party.
All right, let's go. We often think of fishing with a mouse fly as a night fishing game, but it's not always the case. There's certain places, such as the River of Dreams at Magic Waters in Patagonia, where the fish don't have a lot of food, they're very opportunistic, very aggressive, and they'll take a mouse during the day. There's other places in the world, Alaska, for instance, big rainbows in Alaska will take mice during the day. Big brook trout in Labrador will take mice during the day. And it's probably a good idea if you have a river that has large trout in it to try a mouse fly during the day, just to see if it works. Granted, mice aren't that active during the day, but they do occasionally fall in, but maybe fishing a mouse fly during a day is just a lure, just like a streamer. It's something big that a big trout's gonna chase. We're gonna try fishing mice during the day here on the River of Dreams and see what happens. One of the things that our guides, Luciano and Andy, told us to do when mouse fishing is to put a swivel somewhere in your leader, like halfway in your leader, because mouse patterns are really air resistant and they spin the leader a lot and you get twisted up. So what I did was I had a really heavy piece up here, probably 25-pound, maybe even heavier, and I wanted to put a piece of 1X to the fly. So all I did was tie a swivel in here. Would have been tough to tie this thinner stuff to this thick material without doing an improved blood knot or something fancy like that. But with a swivel, you can just tie 2 clinch knots. So I've got a little tiny micro swivel in here, and that's gonna spin around, and the tippet will spin, but the rest of the leader won't spin. So it'll keep you from getting tangled.
To start, Tom is fishing with guide Andy Manstein. He's starting with a mouse, and I'm batting cleanup behind with a streamer guided by Luciano Morales. It isn't long before Tom hooks into one.
Well, that's the first fish on the mouse, and it's always an exciting eat when they take a mouse fly. It's just so visual, and the fish get really excited about it. Nice brown trout. And goodbye, buddy. Thank you.
As always in fly fishing, the fish will tell you how they want the fly to be retrieved. Fishing mice, you have a number of retrieval techniques to experiment with. We like to start with a quick set of short strips, making that mouse fly look like it's panicking after just falling in the water. The second one is to fish it super slow into a swing below the boat. And the third is a simple dead drift over structure where trout might be holding. And that's where these browns will be. The Rio Blanco is laden with downfalls, wood, trees, overhanging brushes, undercut banks, and rocks. perfect habitat for brown trout. Casting as close to the structure as possible is key, especially for the reaction bite. And the water is so clear, you can see it all happening before you. And of course, don't discount any side channels you come across.
This, I think, not very usual on the mouse. I normally prefer a normal dry fly set, but you know, you had 3 bites and you got the 3 fish, so seems to be perfect, your set. But I saw you making like strip set on them.
Yeah, because you're moving, I usually find when you're moving the fly, that a strip set is better, but I kind of did both, really, right? Kind of did a...
But you never lifted your rod, at least. Yeah, you had it always down in the set.
Because I think that sometimes they charge the mouse and try to kill it, and then they come back. And so if you overhead set,
then you take it out.
You take it out of the... So I try to strip set if I can. It's hard with a high rod, though.
Yeah. No, definitely we miss lots of fish on the mouse fishing.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
the 3 you had on, you got, yeah. So
I was surprised. I mean, that's part of the game with mice, right? You're gonna miss a lot.
Well, the attacks are so violent, that I think the fish many times miss.
Yeah.
Too,
It was a good mouse morning for Tom. We break for a quick bite to eat. I spend the afternoon fishing streamers.
Island on one. So after lunch, fishing with Luciano, things are slow, which is not normal. I mean, that happens. But what I'm doing here is I'm really playing with my presentation, speeding it up, slowing it down, keeping in mind that the currents are different speeds all the time too. So watching that fly, the water is so clear that you can see the fly in action and you can actually see these fish come up and strike. But the thing is, you've got to understand that if you've got a fast strip and fast current, that ball's whipping by these, or that fly is whipping by these fish like a fastball. So you always have to be playing with your speed, retrieve speed. And I slowed things down because these fish were hitting the fly, but they were hitting it and missing it. So what I did was I slowed things down, I allowed those fish to eat, and the big ones will come and inhale it. And once we find one, we should connect once you figure out the speed. I've always been taught when fishing streamers for browns against the bank that when you make your initial cast, throw an upstream mend to allow that fly to run parallel to the bank as you're fishing it. But Luciano's got a different philosophy. He wants me to cast to the bank and then do 2 or 3 strips immediately right off the bank in case there's any fish right there for the reaction bite, like that one, and then throw that upstream mend in to make that fly go parallel. But he's looking for that reaction bite from these brown trout right against the bank. And a lot of times, as soon as you move that fly, it's gonna get chased down. 1, 2, 3, and then an upstream mend, and it can start running parallel to the bank in this situation. thing about fishing in Chile is there's structure everywhere, and you can't be afraid to get into it, because that's where these fish live. That fish came out from that log over there, and then got me wrapped up in this log here, and Luciano said, give that fish some slack. I did, and he worked his way out, and yeah, got one. Got one to eat. Nice little football. Beautiful colors. Fantastic, so fun. Streamer fishing. Great stuff. Thank you, sir. So this is what I'm talking about, structure, not being afraid to put your flies in the danger zone. You got to be afraid to lose flies here. We were right in the middle of a bunch of wood and a whole bunch of junk, and I risked the fly, put it in, and this little guy came out from the thick stuff and ate it. But he charged it down, water so clear you could watch it happen. Magical stuff. Here at Magic Waters. Awesome. Thanks, buddy.
We head back to the base camp and get ready for another day on the Rio Blanco. The River of Dreams base camp is rustic luxury in the middle of nowhere, literally. Accessed by horseback or helicopter, this piece of trout heaven is exclusive to the lodge. With barriers of passage upstream and down, the base camp enjoys miles of river with zero pressure. The camp itself is made up of 3 double-occupancy raised tents, with heaters if needed, comfortable beds, and private bathrooms dedicated to each tent. With 24-hour power, running hot and cold water, and Wi-Fi in the main lodge if required. The main lodge is again a spacious raised tent with a dining area, bar area, sitting area, as well as a tying desk. Food is chef prepared and an excellent blend of local cultural as well as international cuisine. With a covered porch with ample seating, anglers can relax after a day on the Blanco and tell stories about the one that got away. The next day, the weather did a complete about-face. Temperatures were up a bit, the sun came out, and the wind was low. We saddled up and headed upstream to the top of the River of Dreams access. Absolutely stunning. Tom continues to fish with Andy, and I, Luciano.
Normally, with clear water and relatively bright sun, it's not a streamer day. But here on the River of Dreams at Magic Waters, every day is a streamer day because the fish here are very aggressive, there isn't a ton of food, and they're always willing to chase a streamer. Andy, there's so much good water here.
Oh!
Nice. Oh!
And there are fish all over the place.
Yeah. There's so much tasty water here. On this river, everything looks good. And the other day you were saying don't try to cast everywhere.
Yeah, I think it's always worth to wait sometimes for the
bed.
better looking place. You know,
Yeah.
like you say, they're all looking juicy.
Everything looks good. I mean, look at this bank. Everything. There's logs, there's structure, there's a little slower current over there.
What I'm looking for is calm sections in between all that heavier currents, you know, places where fish can hang out, don't spend too much energy
Yeah.
in waiting and ambushing some food that can come by.
So I should be looking for a little bit slower water, little pockets of slower water.
Yeah, like calm pockets, yeah.
Like, no,
And
that's-
all the little deeper holes in between logs.
okay, like there.
Yeah.
And how about retrieves?
I think the retrieve depends a lot on the place where we are fishing. If we are over slower water, you should use the time and let it sink a little more.
Okay.
Fish it a little slower with more feeling.
Yeah.
If you're on fast water, there's no other way than cast and strip. Generally, these fish all like to hunt. They like to chase things. So the fly should be moving all the time. In slower water with little strips. In fast water, you can make faster strips.
Bigger
You
strips.
never will be able to outstrip the fish, so don't
Yeah.
be afraid to strip too fast.
Yeah. They like to chase for sure.
Like to-
Now drop-offs like this.
Yeah, there are always good places. And in this river here, I think many times like the start of a stretch and the end, getting in a corner in a curve,
Uh-huh.
there are always good places.
I probably should be looking ahead a little bit, even
One
though.
eye should be a little ahead.
Yeah, even
always.
though I want to see my fly at all times because I want to see the strike, I should be glancing ahead and looking for that
Next spot
tasty
to
little
cast to.
pocket.
Yes. That also sometimes determines how fast you strip the cast from before. You know, if you see that next hole is coming a little later,
Yeah.
you have a little more time in that last cast to strip.
I really like fishing from the back of a boat a lot. And the reason is that I like my streamer coming downstream. You know, a lot of people say that, well, fish are facing upstream, right? A lot of people say predator fish don't like their prey coming at them. So you should fish broadside to them or have it going upstream. But the thing is, when a bait fish or a crayfish gets dislodged, the only way they can escape is to go downstream. They can't swim against the current. So I believe that it seems a lot more realistic to have your streamer darting downstream than upstream. In fact, sometimes I will, along a bank, I will mend downstream so that I can keep my streamer moving downstream parallel to the bank.
Many people make automatically that upstream mend,
Yeah.
and that is counterproductive here.
It is.
Then it's
I find in streamer
miss,
fishing in general, it's counterproductive.
Yeah, you miss then retrieving space, or
Yeah. Because
you need two strips only to get that slack line back in.
You're away
yeah.
from the bank too quickly. Big rivers can be really intimidating, and you can't fish everywhere. You drive yourself crazy, and the fish aren't everywhere. One of the obvious places is along the bank, but you want to look for water along the bank that's slower. We just went through a real fast, deep area where the water pushed right against a high bank, and there was one little slow pocket in there, just one little slow pocket. And I was kind of sitting there thinking, I'm not going to fish this, but I saw that one little slow pocket. I threw the fly in that one little slow pocket, and the fish came out and grabbed the streamer. So you have to look for those slower areas of water. Another place you want to look in a big river is a place like this where there's a shallow riffle off to the side and it shelves off into deeper water. The water's nice and slow and uniform in here, and the fish could literally be almost anywhere in this area, not just along the bank, because it's got slow water, it's got protection from the fish, it's got broken water, and yeah, there's good bank water here, but there's also all the way across from the bank to where I am is good looking water. So I'm gonna retrieve this streamer all the way back to me because, you know, it's all good. Fish could be lying, oops, there was one. Fish could be lying anywhere in here.
Don't worry if that happens, you know, it has to happen. Otherwise, you're not fishing in the right spot.
Oh, these fish are just so acrobatic. Must be the water temperature's just right. Nice fish. So this is a really good example of one of those riffles that shelves off into slower water. We've got fast water, fast ripple above us, and then it kind of drops off here into this deeper water. You can see the change in color, the darker water. That's the kind of stuff you want to look for. A rainbow. A rainbow. A nice rainbow, too.
Another rainbow. The rainbow day.
Yeah, big rainbows too. I don't remember big rainbows up in here as much.
This is as big as they get.
Pretty fish.
Just coming out of spawning time.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
This is a really good example of an inside riffle where I think it's too fast up in here where we're sitting in the boat, but as it comes around the bend, it starts to slow down on the inside. And most of the time in a big river, you'll find the fish just on the edge of the shallow water. So where the water starts to go from lighter colored to darker colored, all the way down through here. That's the place you would look in a big river. If you look on the other side, there's some good looking stuff there too, because it's kind of slower and choppier, but as it comes around the bend on that side, it gets too fast on the other side. Right in that little pocket along the bank where he should have been. You know, you look for these little bays, these little little in-between spots where the bank cuts in a little bit, and that's where the fish are gonna be. And this nice fish, nice brown trout, was sitting where you'd expect him to be.
Coming. Come on, come again. Good and good plate. Nicely played. Yeah.
I actually stung him the first time.
Okay.
And he came back for it.
Yeah, here they are still so wild, they come back 2 or 3 times. So
Really?
high. You have them on for a few seconds, they got off, and go again for it.
That's another nice fish.
Bring it.
Oh, thank you, Andy.
You're very welcome.
The fly is out.
After lunch, Tom and I decide to fish together.
Streamer retrieves are key to being able to connect with these browns and rainbows here on the Rio Blanco. But the fish will tell you what retrieve they want, so you need to start experimenting as soon as you get on the water. Start with, smaller strips, longer strips, faster strips, slower strips, and the fish will respond, and then you can adjust. Now, one of the most important things though is when you're stripping your line, these fish will come and attack and turn. If you have any slack between your fly and your rod tip, chances are they're gonna spit it, just like what happened there. So what I'm doing is when I make my cast, I'm actually dropping the rod tip to the water, and that allows the fly line to stay tight to the fly. So when that fish does come and eat and turn, it automatically sets the hook on it. If I didn't do that, and I fished it with a higher rod tip, such as this, you're gonna see the line dancing on top of the water, right? And that dancing is slack. And in this situation, slack is gonna hurt you when you need to set the hook. You can drop your fly in, keep your rod tip low to the water, and strip in the way that the fish have told you they want it, and you're not seeing any slack on the tip of my rod. That way, when it eats, it's a strip set or a sweep, and you come connected to the brown trout. Pull them over the log, and it's game on. The other thing that's important is as soon as your fly hits the water, you're gonna wanna be fishing it. So put your fly line under your finger and start fishing that fly right back to the boat. Thank you, Andy. Wet your hand. Nice brown, good fish. Look at the spot on its adipose fin, that's cool. Super cool. Andy, fishing streamers here, how do you want me to fish this back to the boat?
I think it depends pretty much from where we are exactly here in the river. But now we are here on deep water without so much structure, so I would make a long cast to the side, try to fish a little deep, let it sink down for a few seconds, and retrieve it slowly.
Slowly in the deeper water?
Yeah, in the deep, slow water. Try to find that fish that's sitting down there on ground somewhere.
And primarily, what are these fish feeding on? What are we trying to emulate here?
I think most of the time we try to imitate other fish.
So other rainbows and other browns?
Yes, there are no other fish in this river. There are moments perhaps when stoneflies are more active, stonefly larvae trying to hatch out on the gravel banks. Then we would fish a small streamer as a nymph imitation.
Right.
But most of the time we fish it as a fish.
The water's so clear, Andy, here on the Rio Blanco. If I see a fish chasing, should I increase the speed of my fly? Should I slow it down? Should I keep it the same? What are your thoughts on that?
I think most of the time it's better to speed up and trigger the fish to finally strike instead of being following only. Sometimes I try to give it one long strip followed by little strips, but that one long strip could trigger the fish also to dart forward and grab. I think in all cases it's important to hold that fly moving. And if you come close to the boat, work with your rod tip, figure 8 around the engine of the boat.
Oh, there he is. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a good fish.
That's a nice rainbow.
Slow strip, and this guy came roaring out from under the bushes. Nice. Excellent, excellent, excellent. What a great fish here on the Rio Blanco.
Different kind of take than the prawns, huh?
Yeah, very slow compared to the browns. Long fish. Just post spawn here in the springtime in Chile. Great looking animal. All right, let's get him back in.
And with that great rainbow, we decide to call it a day and head back to camp for our flight out to Magic Waters Patagonia Lodge. Magic Waters Patagonia Lodge, located just outside of Balmaceda, Chile, is an unforgettable lodge nestled within the mountains surrounded by water. Lakes, rivers, spring creeks, lagunas, all literally at your fingertips. And there's big browns and rainbows to please any angler. Tom and I are headed out to a local river that is known for great brown trout fishing, guided by Yves Barrientos. Today, we're focusing on fishing mice.
And caddisflies action.
We fish for about an hour or so and don't even move a fish. Tom tries something a little different.
We've been trying to catch some fish on mice during the day on the Huemules at Magic Waters, and so far we've been fishing mice and haven't even had one eat it. So I'm going to try something I never tried before. I'm sure people have done it, but I'm going to fish my mouse, and then I'm going to hang a small black woolly bugger behind it on a piece of 3X fluorocarbon and see if that works. Might as well try it. This has got to work.
Well, looks like we finally hooked up with one. Yves, Tom, and I have been searching different water to see where these brown trout are going to be. The water on this river is a little bit high and it is stained, perfect for mousing. So what Yves suggested is we walk up to some new water and nice. Sweet. Walk up to some new water and start fan casting, starting from the outside, working your way in. What we found is this fish came from slower moving water with a rocky bottom and was only about 2 feet off the bank. And I actually saw this fish come out and eat. So, experiment, try different things when mousing. They are there and they will eat a mouse during the day. There he is. Great little brown. Here's the fly that I used. It's probably a size, size 8. Moorish mouse, deer hair body, nice little tail, and a foam back to keep it riding high.
And it looks like Tom's technique works. Mice with a streamer dropper. Perfect. We start to pattern these trout and recognize we should be casting mice to noses eating caddisflies closer to shore. Slower water with scum ideally. Missed him. Refusal. He refused again. We see another nose and target that fish. Another refusal. Pulled it away from him. And there's another fish upstream feeding.
So I've struggled all morning. I landed 1 brown on a mouse and whiffed on like 6. And the reason why I've been missing these fish is because I have not been waiting for the fish to drop before I set the hook. So Ryan, our camera guy, spotted this brown feeding happily upstream and made a cast to the lie that he was in about 5 feet north and let the fish eat the mouse and drop. And that's when I gently lifted, set the hook, and we're gonna get this guy in the net. Woo, finally. That is fantastic. Mouse eater. Love it. How do you like that? Tom, there comes a time in every mouser's career, during any day, where they have to make a decision to actually feed the fish what they're eating. We've been flogging water, we've had some success, but there's caddis popping off like crazy. What do you think we,
Well, I've thrown mice over, half a dozen nice fish eating caddis, and I'm tired of it. I'm putting on a caddis, and I'm gonna catch a fish.
Let's go fishing.
There, by God. We fed him what he wanted instead of what we wanted to use. And it's a monster. Whoop, and he's off. Yay.
We fish the day away and head back to the lodge. The equipment used for this streamers and mice episode in Chile and Patagonia is as follows. Both Tom and I were using 5 and 6 weight fly rods mixed with 5 and 6 weight forward floating lines for mice. For streamers, we are using both floating and sinking 5 and 6 weight lines for shallow and deep parts of the rivers. Leader material was 4 to 6 feet of 2x leaders on both setups. Mouse flies were both lodge specials as well as Moorish mice tied in sizes 6 and 4. Streamers were also lodge specials, tied by the guides. But consider bringing larger natural colored patterns that imitate both small rainbow and brown trout. Don't be afraid to bring large streamers along, as these fish will key in on larger offerings by anglers. For those of you who value time spent outdoors, investing in reliable tools is essential to making the most of your experience in nature. A durable, affordable, and timeless wristwatch is the perfect companion for any angler. And that's exactly what Vair watches are built for. Assembled in America and backed by a guaranteed waterproof warranty, Vair watches offer the ideal balance of affordability and performance. Stay on time and focus on the moments that matter most. It's our final day fishing streamers and mice out of Magic Waters, Chile and Patagonia. We jump in the trucks and drive 5 minutes to a spring creek right near the lodge. Things proved difficult right out of the gate.
Out there today.
No, otherwise, digging right away on the first count.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tom and I both start with streamers. We fish an hour or so without moving a fish. We have to adapt. Sometimes, streamers won't work.
Why can't I catch a fish on a streamer? You would think that putting a black woolly bugger, this beautiful wiggly thing, through the water would just turn on every trout in the river. But it doesn't always work that way. You could try a streamer, but I'm telling you, there are certain conditions where trout will really jump on a streamer and other conditions where it's tough. We've got some nice dirty water today, which would ordinarily be a great streamer day, but the problem is bright sunlight. And in my experience anyway, I've found that dirty water and bright sunlight just doesn't do well with a streamer. So I had a streamer on, I fished through, nothing, put on a dry dropper, a little pheasant tail nymph, a little beadhead pheasant tail, and 3 fish in a row. So you would think the streamer would turn them on, but it doesn't always work.
Good job, Evis.
Good job, Evis.
Which one?
Evis,
Which
Evis
one?
won. Flies out.
I followed Tom's lead and tied on a dry dropper and put it through where I'd previously fished a streamer.
What, do you get a fish?
It's a good one too, Evis. It's a good fish, man. Might be a brown, I think. Now, here's a situation where you do not want to put the line on the reel. I've got a ton of line out, and I'm tight with this fish. If I was to start messing around with the reel, there's a chance, and it happens to me all the time, that you lose the tightness to the fish, and with a barbless hook, the fish will come off. So just use your finger as the drag, strip as needed, and feed that line if the fish needs to run. Don't worry about getting the fish on the reel. Oh, it's a good fish, man. This is a stud. For a small spring creek, this is so fun. It's a rainbow. Is it a brown? I can't see. Yeah, it is a brown. Nice. Now I've got 4X on here, and the water's cold, so there's no need to horse this fish in. Play it till you can get it to hand, and then say hello and let them go. Same situation, you start with a dry, doesn't work, put a dropper on, see success. All right. Look at the color. The spots on this thing are really neat. Fantastic. Great small stream fish. Love it. There he goes, back to his home.
Whoa.
Good one.
Yeah. Rainbow, I think. Feels big. I haven't seen him yet, though. Whoops.
Oh, good fish, man.
Oh, I thought you had him. Whew. It's like a steelhead.
Well, that about does it for this episode of the New Fly Fisher showcasing streamers and mice. I want to thank the entire Magic Waters family for their guidance, hospitality, and of course, the entire incredible experience. For more on our series, check us out at thenewflyfisher.com and of course on all the socials. Remember, adventure is out there. All you need to do is go and find it. And what better way than to do it with a fly rod in your hand? From all of us here at the New Fly Fisher, and of course from Tom Rosenbauer, thanks for watching, and hopefully we'll see you on the rivers of Magic Waters in Chilean Patagonia.
The New Fly Fisher is supported by Magic Waters Patagonia Lodge, Vair Watches, Scientific Anglers, Trout Unlimited,